Welcome everyone back to our YouTube channel, and today we're going to discuss about weight loss and fat burning. But before we discuss and see on the ways that we are supposed to burn fats in our bodies and have that good physique, first of all, let us have a brief know-how of how fats accumulate in our bodies. Our bodies require energy to carry out the daily activities like running, cooking, digging, etc. And also our body require energy that our body require energy to carry out some activities in our bodies with or without our knowledge. Things like digestion, blood flow, heartbeat, all these require energy. That is why when even seated or even sleeping, you require some energy, though in small portion compared to that person who is engaged into a very vigorous activities. And therefore, where will this energy come from? So the energy will come from the food that we eat. And when we eat that food, then after digestion and all those processes that we know, digestion, absorption and the rest, we'll have what we call calories. And the calories is what we could, let us just call them calories. That is the name that is supposed to be called instead of energy. So the calories that we are supposed to consume comes from food that we eat. And now it comes a time whereby we eat a lot, so we have more calories than what our body requires. And therefore, our body will just take its portion. For example, if you need 1,000 calories and you have eaten more food, which means you have maybe 2,000 calories, so our body will just take the 1,000 calories, then the remaining will be stored as fats in our bodies. That is how fats accumulate in our body. We should remember also that there are some foods that have more calories compared to others. Like the sugary foods, they have more calories compared to things like maybe veggies and the rest. But that one we'll discuss later on, or maybe on another episode when we'll be discussing about the foods we should eat and the maybe intermittent fasting, and on another episode. But just know that there are some foods that have more calories compared to others. Also, we should remember that when fats accumulate into our bodies, we have no control over it at all. It is the work of our body system to know where these fats will be stored. That's why most other people will see the fats have been accumulated on their backs, others on the hips, others on the legs, others on the even face. So we have no control. We cannot tell these extra fats, please go and accumulate on my hips or around my belly or around what. But mostly, in most cases, these fats run to accumulate around the belly because there is where the soft tissues are. So most fats, that is why you will see most people who have fats or a lot of fats or obese or overweight, their belly is also big. So just the same way we have no control of where the fats will be accumulated in our bodies, still the same case applies. We have no control of burning fats in a specific place and leaving the fats to stay in another place. So in simple terms, I'm trying to say that there is no spot reduction. Spot reduction is whereby you want to burn fats around the belly and leave some fats maybe on your hand, or leave the fats on the hips, or leave the fats on the neck, or that is what I'm trying to say. There is no spot reduction. That is why in my career as a fitness trainer, you will see a lady coming, and I believe most of you have also seen this. A lady will come and say that I want my belly to be so small, so I want just to burn fats around my belly part to have a small waist, but please leave my hips to remain the way they are, or leave my thighs or leave my other parts to remain. I only want to burn fats around the waist. It is not possible, because as we have discussed earlier, we have no authority of where the fats will accumulate, and also we have no authority of burning fats at a specific point and leaving the rest. So that is what we call spot reduction. In fat burning and losing weight, we have no spot reduction. So if it is about burning fat, we have to burn fat all over the body. So having the knowledge about how the fats accumulate in our body, and there's no spot reduction. Now, what are we supposed to do? We are remaining with only one option, and this is what we call caloric deficit. What is caloric deficit? Caloric deficit is whereby your body requires more calories, but in real sense, you don't have that calories in your body. So your body is in a depth. Let us just use a layman's language for everybody to understand. You have a depth of calories. So what are we going to do? For example, let us just break it down for us to understand in a good way. Your body right now, when I'm seated, my body requires, for example, 1,000 calories, and I'm seated like this. So what I'm supposed to do for me to have the caloric deficit is I'm supposed to engage into other activities. I should incorporate some workouts, because when I'm seated I need 1,000 calories and I'm comfortable with this 1,000, but now I want my body to be in a deficit. So I'll force myself to do other things, because we discussed earlier on that when you are running or maybe doing other vigorous activities, your body will need more calories than a person who is just seated or sleeping. So here comes a place whereby we need our body to be in a caloric deficit. So we should engage, and this is where now we are coming. We should engage ourselves into activities, and these are workouts, either running, either digging, either doing what. But now for here we are talking about fitness, so we are going to do fitness. The food you have eaten, the food has just remained constant. For example, the food has remained constant. They usually eat 1,000 and you are comfortable with 1,000 calories. But now, because you have engaged yourself into other activities in the gym, maybe running, maybe doing some resistance training, so it means your body has a deficit of 500 calories because you have engaged into other activities. Now the question comes here: where are we going to get these 500 calories? The system will go now to the fat that was stored in our body. So our body mechanism will be forced to go in the fat cells. It will break down the fat cells to generate energy. And when the body goes back to break down the fat cells to generate energy, it will add those calories. I hope we're together. So when it adds that calories, when the fat is being broken down to add those calories, that is what we call lipolysis. It's a process called lipolysis, whereby our body mechanism, because it wants to compensate the calories that it doesn't have, it goes back to the fat cells, break down the fat cells, then that is where the extra calories will be found now. So if this continues, we will be able to burn fats in our bodies. So there are two key things we should put in mind when we want to burn fats and reduce weight. One, there's no spot reduction. There's no way we can burn fats in a specific place in our body. Secondly, we should make sure our body is in caloric deficit. Caloric deficit, those two things, if you just put those two things, automatically you'll be able to burn fats in your body. The in and the out. So what you are eating should be less than what your body requires. So it means your body should look in a way to compensate and make sure it is now in a stable condition. And the only way our body mechanism will look away, it's now to go back to the fat cells, break them down to produce now the calories that it needs to carry out the daily activities. And the game is final. And please, this one should be done in a it's a continuous process. It's not a one-day thing. You know, fitness is all about, it's a process. You see, some people just come today and tomorrow they want to see results. No, it's not possible. So it's something that you have to make it a routine. You should be making it a routine. So if you want your food intake to remain constant, you should engage into activities. If you engage into activities, your body will require more calories. And since it requires more calories and it doesn't have at the moment, it will go into the fat cells, break the fat cells down to produce energy in a process called lipolysis. And at the end of the day, the fats are being burned down. Thank you for watching this episode. I think we have enjoyed watching this video. I think we have learned one or two things. For those who didn't know, they have now known. And for those who knew, maybe you have learned at least one or two things. So thank you for watching, and I'm just requesting you please to subscribe to this channel, like and share. And also, if you have any other topic related to fitness and you want us to discuss, or you want us maybe you want us to talk about it, please just write it down on the write it down on the comment section below, and I assure you I'll read all the comments and I will make sure that we have discussed about it. Otherwise, have a good day. Peace.